Super Mario Sunshine. The follow-up to the groundbreaking Super Mario 64, Sunshine had a lot to live up to, and it turned out to be one of the most divisive major Nintendo releases in the company's history. Some people see Sunshine as a standout of the 3D Mario platformers for its intricate movement and focus on a more realized world, while others see it as a clunky mess filled with questionable decisions, failing to show an understanding of the series' strengths. Regardless, it's an interesting idea to take Mario's simple control scheme and pair it to a water spraying pack, opening up all sorts of new possibilities for getting around. This single decision ensures Sunshine's a very distinct, memorable Mario experience, for better or worse. In this video, I'm going to lay out what I found to be the best and the worst aspects of this game. Be warned that full spoilers for Super Mario Sunshine are on the table. The best. Number 1, Mario and Flood. Considering how well Mario controlled in 64, it was a bold move to add an entirely new element to his mobility. Flood easily could have been overly complex and cumbersome to use, but thankfully, the empowering versatility Mario's known for is only expanded upon with this addition. Diving into a slide and spin jumping are fantastic ways to get around quickly. Mario's moveset's incredibly snappy, so you can effortlessly string moves together. Running speed's instant. Triple jumps have energy, and ground pounds make an impact. Flood not only lets you spray water directly, but doubles as a hover pack. These abilities expand your options even further, allowing you to go farther and higher. It can be tricky getting used to Flood, but when mastered, using it is one of the most fun things about Mario Sunshine. Washing sludge off is satisfying for anyone who enjoys cleaning, and water's plentiful throughout levels, so refilling's rarely a hassle. The rocket and turbo nozzles are other varied ways to explore. The turbo nozzle is especially fun to jet around with, but unfortunately not used for much and feels underutilized. In any case, I give the developers a lot of credit for not only ensuring Mario's still fun to play, but introducing an entirely new concept to his gameplay that's just as well thought out and fun to use. Number 2, visuals. Mario Sunshine looks phenomenal for an early GameCube title, with an art style that holds up very well to this day. Everything's bright and colorful, perfectly capturing the tropical paradise aesthetic Sunshine excels at. Lighting and graphical effects help a lot to sell these locations. The wave lines that simulate heat in the air deserve mention for nailing that feeling of a sun-baked island. Water in particular looks spectacular, which is essential considering how much of the game focuses on it. Areas each have their own vibe, leaving their own unique impression thanks to their color palettes and moods. It's clear a lot of time was spent getting Sunshine to look great. It's remarkable how much of a step up this is from Super Mario 64. Number 3, world building. While not exactly a priority for the series, Sunshine is one of the better examples of the Mario universe attempting a more tangible world. Isle Delfino, its residents, and the stories found within are competent enough to be believable. Throughout the series, locations are often very quirky, and more like platforming video game levels than anything that would realistically exist. And while that works wonderfully for satisfying challenges, I appreciate that Sunshine cared to give more context to the places Mario would explore. Isle Delfino's a great representation of a vacation resort. It has a hotel, a theme park, natural areas, and of course, scenic beaches, with plenty of details and nice touches to fill out environments and help them feel lived in. Even just the consideration for how the world's laid out, where you can visibly see other places from the level you're in, goes a long way in presenting a convincing location. Completing goals feels meaningful since they'll often directly help residents, and most areas have some kind of overarching narrative that evolves throughout each episode. The purpose of accomplishments is a lot more felt in Sunshine, and it's nice to see a world gradually grow and benefit from your actions. Number 4, Delfino Plaza. A good hub world goes a long way, and Delfino Plaza is one of the best Nintendo's produced. This beautiful place perfectly represents the tone and style of Mario Sunshine. It has a lively population, acting as a playground for your abilities while traveling between locations. Of course it has secrets to find, but also some NPCs with small narratives if you take the time to check in. It's the ideal size for a hub, so entering levels is quick, though with how much context is given to the island, I would have liked more practical ways of getting to new places. There's an emergency broadcast system that pops up a lot, but these messages contribute more than you'd think to helping this place feel alive. The flood leading up to the final level is a fun crisis moment for the island you've spent so much time getting to know. And although it doesn't have much purpose, it at least provides some build up to the finale. Yeah, Delfino Plaza rocks. Number 5, Pianta Village and Serena Beach. My top picks of the levels in Sunshine, I look forward to both of these locations whenever I revisit the game. I'm pretty sure most people hate Pianta Village, and that's fair. There's certainly miserable things about this place, but I like the concept of an entire village on a tree-supported platform, and the Piantas living here have a nice sense of community. Most of the missions are interesting too, and it has a great background track. Though it's important to note, the secret level with Mario chucking Piantas is exempt from every praise I've given this place, and a completely obnoxious challenge. Serena Beach not only hosts a beautiful sunset, but a spooky hotel with unusual happenings. It has a great vibe, and it's cool to see a fully realized hotel in a Mario setting. Though, like Pianta Village, that's not to say it's without weaknesses. One more thing before we move on, I really dig the nice touch where Delfino Plaza gets brighter the more shine sprites you collect. It's great to see results from your progress. But that about covers the greatest successes of Sunshine. It's not looking too bad so far, but truthfully, there are quite a few things I've yet to discuss, so it's about to get pretty rough. Let's jump right into the worst qualities of Super Mario Sunshine. The worst. Number 1, low quality content. My word at the amount of tedious, padded out content on display here. Mario Sunshine feels unfinished in a lot of ways, with so many repetitive, low effort challenges that when you really take a look at this game's content, not a lot of it is very satisfying. Tons of shine sprites are filler to pad out the game. Let's break this down. Chasing around and spraying Shadow Mario is repeated 7 times for a shine sprite in every major level, as well as 4 times in Delfino Plaza for upgrades and story moments. Red coin hunts are desperately overused, with every single secret stage having to be repeated a second time to collect them. Gooper bloopers fought 3 times, and outside of the location, nothing about the battle changes. They're basically identical fights. There's a man you have to race against 3 times, and these are pretty much glorified time trials, and easy at that. Some of the hidden ones are as simple as spraying a wall, spotting the sand, or golden bird. Several challenges don't involve much, if any, platforming, and can be incredibly annoying to complete, or harshly punishing for the smallest mistake. Sunshine's also a big step back from 64's non-linearity, asking you to collect the first 7 shine sprites of every major level to complete the game, instead of letting you bother with what you want. Shine sprites are also rarely attainable out of sequence. The sad truth is most of this game is made up of uninteresting activities that just aren't fun to play, often failing to make use of Mario's extensive capabilities. Platforming's taken a back seat to tedious, chore-like missions, and when it is the focus, it's in these annoying void levels where the slightest miscalculation will lead to a restart, all thanks to the obsession this game has with rotating platforms. Looking for the last red coin in Pianta Village? Well, they hid it all the way under the village in a specifically discreet spot that you likely won't search since the rest of the coins were up top. Meticulously spraying panels on a board, bouncing around a pachinko machine with unpredictable behavior, and by far the worst mission in the game, waiting ages on multiple slow-moving boats to have Yoshi open up a pipe on an island. Speaking of which, number 2, Yoshi. Do you like Yoshi from the other games? Well, you won't like him here. He's slippery, disappears if he falls into water, and is strictly used for superficial reasons, mostly removing the golden goop stuck on things. Losing him creates a laborious process of hunting down the appropriate fruit to hatch him all over again. And what the hell is with the juice spitting ability that turns enemies into platforms? Why? Who the heck decided on this? And the platforms are only used for a single shine sprite in the entire game. I don't even understand why this ability is here. Yoshi's implementation feels completely unfinished. I get he was barely in 64, but don't even bother making him playable if you're going to completely botch his execution. Evolution. Number 3, the Lily Pad Ride. Going back to what I said before about the slow-moving boats, everything about this is atrocious. You have to get a Yoshi, jump onto a boat, and continue to jump boats as they pass each other until you make it to the island, so Yoshi can spray his juice and open up the pipe. But these boats are miserably slow. Even worse is that these jumps are pretty easy to mess up, since Yoshi's slippery. It only takes one little mistake to have to start everything all over again. The thing is, the nightmare doesn't really start until you actually make it into the pipe on the island. This challenge involves collecting 8 red coins over a poisonous river that will instantly kill you if you fall into it. And you better hope you're spot on with grabbing these things, as a single mistake can be nearly impossible to make up. If you do get to the end without getting all the coins, you might figure, oh well, there's a pipe here. There's never been a pipe in any other secret level, so this probably leads me back to the beginning to grab any coins I missed. Well, the joke's on you, since the pipe kicks you all the way out of the level. The very punishment for getting a game over happens by entering this unconventional pipe. It ends up being more beneficial to intentionally kill yourself if you miss a red coin. At least then you can retry the challenge if you have lives. But if you accidentally use this pipe instead, you now have to do the entire Yoshi boat ride all over again. Is this an oversight? Because I can't believe it's designed this way. Why would they add a pipe to exit the secret level that's the most annoying one to enter and complete? This is an absolute train wreck that deserves a deliberate call out. Number 4, Corona Mountain and the final boss. Corona Mountain's the final platforming challenge of Sunshine, a dismally half-assed level that's no fun to play through. The first half's made up of spiked and fiery platforms. Thankfully, they are a cinch to get past, but this is so conceptually basic, I find it hard to believe they put much thought into it. Go figure, the second half is even worse. Slowly piloting a boat using FLUDD where even the slightest miscalculation of water pressure can cause you to sink. You have to be really meticulous to make it through, and they even had the nerve to place 10 blue coins over the lava, so you'll spend about 20 minutes doing this if you want to get everything. Why on earth did they settle on this for the final level? Slow boat piloting hardly exemplifies the best of Sunshine's gameplay. But then again, maybe it is an appropriate representation, with how many annoying challenges Sunshine's made up of. Once you make it through, the final fight begins, and this is also the introduction to Bowser in this game. And what are you greeted to? Oh my god. Rocket Pack ground pounding 5 spots while avoiding fire and bullet bills. That's it. Bowser's in a hot tub? You've gotta be kidding me. This is what they came up with? This is a shallow, completely underdeveloped concept for a final battle, and one of the worst I've seen in the series. Not only is this a disappointing showing for Bowser, but a huge disappointment to the player for sticking through Sunshine's mediocre game design, just to be presented with this. Also, go figure, Bowser's voice sounds awful. Shocking, I know.
How dare you disturb my family vacation?
Number 5, blue coins. I actually really like the idea of blue coins, little collectibles hidden throughout each level, encouraging you to look around and explore thoroughly. Some of them are cleverly hidden, but sadly, that's a very small amount of them. It's honestly ridiculous just how cryptic a lot of blue coins are, and they're even more daunting when you realize how many of them are episode specific. Half the time for seemingly no reason, making it nearly impossible to find all of them without a guide. Spraying the moon from atop the golden mushroom, shooting an empty cupboard with nothing special about it, breaking a crate when you almost certainly broke it in an earlier episode that all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, has a blue coin in it now. Talk about an unappealing way of integrating collectibles. Having to place 3 pieces of fruit in a basket for a single blue coin is way too time-consuming for 1/10 of a shine sprite. 10 blue coins can be exchanged for a shine sprite, but this is a pretty pointless addition since only the first 7 episodes of each major area contribute to completing the game. Since it only takes 30 shine sprites to unlock all of the levels, every optional shine sprite beyond that is worthless. This is a tremendous downgrade from 64's non-linearity. In that game, every star contributed to progressing through the castle. Here, any shines that aren't mandatory feel pointless to bother with. Collecting every shine sprite isn't worth it either, only giving you a brief shot of some characters after the credits, and a special shirt for Mario to wear that you can't even use without also wearing the light-dimming sunglasses. Yeah, Awful, terrible rewards for an exhausting amount of effort. Is it any surprise Super Mario Sunshine has such a controversial relationship with its fan base? While Mario is fun to control, Sunshine fails to present creative level design and fun gameplay challenges. Despite the misguided ideas, there are some fun things here. Mario's unique mobility is unlike anything the series has seen. It's just a shame the game built around it doesn't take full advantage of it. Super Mario Sunshine's worth checking out if you're curious, but requires a lot of patience, with more than a few challenges that only the most die-hard of completionists should ever spend time on. It's interesting to see the Mario series try new things at the very least, and if this is the low point of the 3D Mario titles, that's not too bad. There's an endearing quality to Sunshine that I'll always appreciate. But if you like Mario for well-designed platforming challenges, you're probably better off looking elsewhere. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked my video, subscribe and check out my Patreon. Thank you so much to all of my patrons for your support. I'll see you next time.